With the 2024 elections in the US, we now know that the United States President-elect is Donald Trump, who represent the Republican Party, and we also know that Kamala Harris of the Democratic Party lost the election. So basically, what do we understand? I know that a lot of people voted for the Republican Party because of the fact that there have been so many things happening, one of which is the LGBTQ problem. I am not here to talk about the LGBTQ problem. I'm only here to discuss the aspect of the law related to right to privacy and its connection to LGBTQ. So what is that? So under the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution, we have the right to privacy, which typically state that everybody has a right to its privacy of his body or its activities as long as it is done inside the house, not in the public space. It also means that as an individual, you have the right to associate with whoever you want to be. So that means that a man can associate with a man or a woman will associate with a woman. The 14th Amendment did not explicitly state that this is what should be done. The 14th Amendment is just a collection of private rights or the right to privacy. And now, how do we connect this to LGBTQ? Every government or every state or every country, basically every country, has the three arms of government: the legislature, who makes the law; the executive, who enforces the law; and the judiciary, who interprets the law. In the US, we have the executive, which comprises the president, and the federal body. Basically, we have the Congress, who makes the law under Article 1 of the United States Constitution. Then we also have the judiciary, especially the Supreme Court, who interprets the law. Now, each of these arms of government, they check and they balance their power. That means that the executive cannot perform the powers of the Congress, and it also means that the judiciary cannot perform the powers of the Congress, and vice versa. However, there are situations whereby each of these bodies can, in a way, perform the functions of the other, but not the way you see it. For example, the executive can make an executive order. That means that the president can make an executive order, and when he does that, it will be seen as if he's doing the function or performing the function of the Congress, but really he's not doing that. Now, when the Supreme Court makes a decision, the decision becomes law, and you can argue that the judiciary or the Supreme Court is performing the functions of the Congress, but in realistic terms, they are not doing that. But in law, generally, whenever the Supreme Court makes a decision, that decision becomes law, and then we have what they call the stare decisis or judicial precedent. That means that whenever you're trying to refer to a particular case, then you can refer to what the Supreme Court made as a decision some time ago. Now, connecting this to the right to privacy, we know that in June of 2015, the Supreme Court held that every human being has a right to its privacy or her privacy, which also means that you have the right to marry whoever you want. However, when that particular judgment was made, it was during the Obama era, and Obama being a US president but from the Democratic Party, you can say that maybe he was the one that brought LGBTQ. In realistic terms, he wasn't the one that did that. It was the Supreme Court that made that judgment in 2015 during Obama's era. Come to think of it, really, the Supreme Court was trying to interpret the 14th Amendment, which is the right to privacy. The Supreme Court wasn't trying to make any new law. It was just trying to interpret what the 14th Amendment is. So the fact that it was made during Obama era doesn't mean that it was Obama that legalized gay marriage. It doesn't mean that it was Obama that brought gay marriage or that advanced it. It just became to be. And since everybody that comes to the US knows that when you are here, your rights are protected, people can easily refer to the Constitution and by extension to the judgment of the Supreme Court. Now look at Trump's administration between 2016 and 2021. During that period, we know that Trump was an advocate for so many conservative values, and because of his administration, he was able to nominate at least 3 justices of the Supreme Court who are from the conservative roots. And in 2022 or 2023, during Biden administration, the Supreme Court reversed the decision of Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade is part of the right to privacy that we're talking about, which is an extension of the 14th Amendment, that you have the right to whatever you can do to your body. However, the Supreme Court in 2022 said that you don't have any right to do whatever to your body, especially to kill a life. And because it was done during the Biden administration, it doesn't mean that it's Biden that advanced the reversal of Roe v. Wade. It just happens to be that the Supreme Court during the Biden administration reversed the rule in Roe v. Wade. So with this simple explanation, you can say that it is not the executive that actually passes a particular law, or it wasn't during the executive administration that you can say that a law is being made. We can argue though that the combination, correlation and coordination or collaboration between the arms of government, basically, they can be that law that can be made. For example, Trump nominated the justices of the Supreme Court who have conservative values just as Trump, and they have more numbers at the Supreme Court level. So because of that, you will see that unanimously or by majority, the conservative justices can come together and advance the view or the vision of Trump. So also you may argue that maybe there are more democratic backed judges during the Obama era, and that was why they legalized gay marriage. It's not the direct collaboration or the direct arrangement between Obama and the Supreme Court. They are independent of one another. They coordinate the government. However, they cannot usurp the powers of one another. So with this explanation, I'm very sure you now understand the arms of the government and the fact that the arms of the government, they perform their different roles. And when the Supreme Court passes a law, it does not necessarily mean that it is the president that advanced it. It just happens to be that it is during the administration. Now, with this explanation, I hope that you understand. If I didn't mention or I didn't explain a particular aspect very well, please drop that in the comment section. Like and follow and subscribe to this channel for more insights. I shall see you in the next video.